When you describe ecumenism, the house and the different rooms, and
right?
Okay.
An analogy, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Metaphors.
Using that analogy, if someone is in, say, the Eastern Orthodox room,
right,
and someone is in the Big C Catholic room,
yeah.
So if
by the way, there's doorways into these rooms. Okay. Some of them don't have them.
So if you move from the Big C Catholic room to the Eastern Orthodox, are you wrong?
Well, from our perspective, maybe we would say that, yeah. But then I think we'd also say we've come to
for us, it's okay for them to move from their room to our room.
Did I say we were done with this development? Vatican I and Vatican II, the ecumenical. This is a great thing you're bringing up.
There's a door, you can go both ways.
So there's a difference, right? There's a difference, right, between preconciliar theology prior to Vatican II that led up to it, without which we couldn't have Vatican II. Conciliar theology, officially enshrined in these 16 documents, yes. And then there's post-conciliar theology. That's theology that develops outside of Vatican II, that follows after it. So I'll give you what I mean, hopefully clearly like this. Nothing that the church does is give, the church very rarely, if ever, gives you the final word, although a lot of people in the popular imagination, the documents of the church's ecumenical councils or official pronouncements are considered the final word. Rome has spoken, the case is settled. That's the idea. There's a Latin expression like that. In reality, the church is giving us the first word. So like when we say that creed that we do every weekend at Sunday Mass, it would be unhealthy, I feel, to look at that as if that is the final word about the Trinity of God and the humanity of Christ. That's not the final word. It's the first word. This is where we start from, and we can continually develop that. I believe in God. I don't believe in a man floating in a chair with a big white beard and a literal genitalia, a masculine male genitalia. You have to say that. Eventually you have to think about that, because what do you mean by God?
Yeah, but then you say Father Almighty.
But then you say, very good. Father, right, but not a penis. Not testicles. A father that's unlike any other father. Not a Middle Eastern father, although that's how God is seen in Scripture, Mediterranean Godfather. That's the first word we have, the Scriptures. Not the final word. I'm dialoguing right now, not really dialoguing, Vanessa, with somebody right now who thinks it's the final word. He thinks Scripture is the final word. No, Scripture isn't the final word. It's the first word of our biblical ancestors in the faith. And we've come a long way, baby. Like the smoking commercial. We've come a long way.
Well, it's a living institution. So it's a living institution.
Fundamentalists can't see that. They want it as a museum that's the same today, yesterday, and forever. That's what they love to say. Christ, they really mean is the church is the same today, yesterday. We ever said that the church is the same? Said, look what Lennis just said. She's absolutely correct. It's a living institution. Now, what does that mean? Lennis, you got permutations of thought on that. Living doesn't mean ever living like Mum-Ra, the ever living from Thundercats, who looks the same. An undead thing that lives on and on and on, rotting and rotting and rotting. It's a living thing. So it evolves, it adapts, it changes, it gains some weight, sometimes it loses some weight. It's mom. The church is mother. And don't forget the limits of that. We listen to mother, but we remember she's from a different time. Mom. Hopefully she doesn't get senile sometimes, Okay, maybe needs the meds anyway. So yeah, Mother Church. So anyway, but yeah, so we got to understand that. And then also, yeah, so there's more to come, right? Look at what Letty just said. Wait a minute, Bill. There's got to be more to come, because we're still in the attitude that the best room in the house is our room. Now, can we maintain that? Can we at least posit, Letty, that maybe you do have a room in the house? I admit there's problems with this. That has the fullness of what the house is meant to be. That it's the most comfortable for everybody. We got to look at, I don't know, is it the most comfortable? As an archdiocesan employee, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But okay, let's just posit that there's a room in this house that is the most comfortable or most congenial for family life. I think it would have those gifts, would also that are institutional and sacramental. This idea, right, that the certitude of faith, sometimes the Catechism talks about the certitude of faith. You understand that certitude is a mutable and corrigible certitude. What does that mean? It's not metaphysical certitude. Wholes are always greater than parts. That's a metaphysical certitude because it's impossible to think the opposite. Try it. Wholes are always greater than parts. This is a necessary truth, a self-evident truth. Wholes are always greater than parts. There are very few self-evident, necessary metaphysical truths, axioms, by which we base logic and mathematics and some of the empiriological sciences on. Principle of non-contradiction. Something cannot be and not be at the same time under the same condition. That only comes into play whenever somebody breaks the rule in logical statements. But that's like a governing principle of the universe, right? These are things we can know beyond the shadow of a doubt, beyond the possibility of doubt. How many things can you really say belong to that severity of knowledge, of certitude? This is proper knowledge. This is metaphysical truth. Okay, when you're dealing with faith, I'm sorry she's out of the room right now, but when you're dealing with faith, faith always is mutable and corrigible truth. Mutable, meaning your way of understanding it can change. Corrigible, it can always be improved upon. What the good deacon was saying in Lennis's example in her RCIA experience fits into that paradigm. The idea that yes, this is the fullness of the truth that I have experienced, but my experience of it and my articulation of it is both mutable and corrigible. Mutable in that it can change. Corrigible in that it can improve to allow other ways of seeing things, for example. Fundamentalist can't see this. Fundamentalist likes to believe that his or her mental gymnastics of the faith or the truth, this is also true for a lot of secular atheists, by the way, is something that can be known beyond all doubt, beyond the possibility of doubt. When we talk about the certitude of faith in the Catholic Church, the Catholic tradition, we always mean certitude that is in a mutable and corrigible way. Because the truths we know and profess are mysteries. They are reasonable, meaning they do not contradict reason, the sum total of my human experience and my logic. But there's always more. There's always something you get and there's always something you don't get. Otherwise it wouldn't be a mystery, it would be something you could exhaust. And if you can exhaust it, then it's not a mystery.